On your clients then, what are the main kind of topics that your clients are discussing or asking for at the moment when they come talk to you or they knock on your door? I guess no one's knocking on doors anymore.
Yeah, I think a big challenge that are still being discussed, or more challenges that are being discussed, is of course the scalability of things. You know, there's been a lot of great collaboration examples, and we have done this in many different kinds of construction. But of course, it's a challenge. How do we scale that? And this is where the data part comes in, right? So it's so important that we have these data sets to actually being able to scale this, especially when you look into circularity, for example, the materials. How do we label them? Where do we find them? Where do we keep them? So that is extremely important. And luckily, a lot of companies are working within this area today. So the scalability is very much on everybody's minds. How do we do that? And also, of course, the risk load that you have in these projects. How do we share that risk? Yeah. And also, those topics are something that we discuss with all the stakeholders at BloxHub. So it's a good setting to actually discuss something that is quite complex and difficult like this.
I think the scalability is an interesting one, because if you look at the industry today, when it comes to kind of labor force and the availability of labor force, we're at a shortage. Every company needs more people. And the reality is they're not available. They're not available to us in the global market.
No.
From our perspective, looking at kind of digital quantity surveyors or quantity surveyors with a digital mindset and focus, they're very few and far between within the industry. If there's anybody out there listening, please contact me, because we're looking to hire. But so we have to look at alternative approaches to how we do our work, so we can do more with less, more with the people that we have, be more efficient, remove all that inefficiency, become more digital, and concentrate on the data is a very key point there, I think. For the future of businesses, we think that's the only way we're going to be able to scale.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to scale by hiring more people. That's just not going to happen in the future. It's going to be impossible, actually.
Yeah.
I've been reading some reports, companies, promoting that they're going to hire X number of 100 people inside in certain industries. And I'm looking at it going, where are you going to get these people? Where are they going to come from? Because they're not going to come from local industry. You can't. It's impossible, because everybody's looking for people. So you're going to have to look at efficiency rather than numbers in the future. And that's something that's very key for us, I would say. But I wonder, like, when we speak to clients or we have discussions with our clients around data, a lot of our clients don't really understand what it is that we mean when we say data, especially when it comes to economy and cost. No one collects that information. So when you talk about data then to your clients, is it a broad kind of concept when it comes to data, or is it very specific around certain focus areas, or what exactly are your clients looking for?
Yeah, we have more companies that work with gathering very specific data at BloxHub. But we, of course, as an organization, talk about it in more general terms. How should we actually use data? But we also put forward some really, you can say, examples that actually show what we mean when we say data. So it's also about thinking about new data parameters that we didn't think of before. So it's both like the quantity and the quality of data that we want to change. And also we actually add this very, you can say, this hardcore area of looking into data, gathering data with the very soft skills. So it's like, it's two elements that we need to put forward together. So we say, yes, we need to think about data in new ways, collecting the data. How do we use the data, not least? But also the systemic change, on the other hand, how do the people we then have working with these things, how do we optimize the collaboration between them so that we systemically also change the way we present this data, and we utilize this data across the different stakeholders, right? Yeah. So it's on both ends of that scale, you can say. So it's not data alone. That's very important.
I think that soft skill is super key, because you can have as much analytics and as many analytics based on many different data sets as you want, but if you can't present it to the people that need to understand it to be able to make the decision,
exactly,
then is it worthless? We hear an awful lot that the the real future skills will be the soft skills. They'll be the skills that people will be looking to hire on, not the hard skills that we traditionally would hire on. That all the soft skills will be the kind of focus areas, because we'll still need to be able to collaborate with people. We'll need to be able to present messages and communication, and all of that is that soft skill aspect. So it's interesting that you guys have identified that both the data set, whatever data you're talking about here, could be internal kind of business information. It could also be external in terms of client information that you're talking about, but nevertheless, it needs to be presented. Yeah. It needs to be explained.
Yeah, and you really need to understand who you're talking to, who you're presenting it to. So I think that having this understanding of who are in the value chain, do we see the challenges and the opportunities in the same way? So this is really the baseline of getting a good process going, right? And when you know who you are presenting the data for, what data they need, what data they're asking for, that process can go hand in hand with actually creating or gathering this data, right? So I think that is something that we are very focused on, and we have a lot of experience now in actually creating these collaboration processes where we see how much value that actually creates. Simply getting people in a room talking across these silos, and it's amazing what happens already there.